Satang Prasanga.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. How are you doing? Welcome to today's session. I pray that all is well with you and your families at this time. So today we're moving on to a new letter to Rayaram Prabhu, and it's a beautiful letter. It's in the early days of Krishna consciousness, 1968, and these devotees are really trying to help and serve Prabhupada, and especially with the printing and distributing of booklets and pamphlets and things like that. So today's letter is based on a similar theme. So we see Prabhupada starts the letter by saying, Letter to Rayaram, Los Angeles, 11 January 1968. And then Prabhupada writes that in reverse, numerically. My dear Rama, please accept my blessings. I thank you very much for your letter of January 3rd, 1968. So this letter is dated 11. He wrote on the 3rd. So within 8 days, Prabhupada has replied. He goes on to say, on ISKCON Press Stationery. So they trying to, Rayaram Prabhu was trying to do some printing for Prabhupada, probably some booklets and pamphlets and things for distributing out while they're doing Harinam and things like that. So Prabhupada was very appreciative of that. Anything to do with literature and books and printing, Prabhupada was very, very. His Guru Maharaj, when we did our tour in March, we went to the Bagh Bazaar Gaudiya Math in Calcutta, and then they gave us a tour of the building where they have this museum, beautiful museum. And in there, they showed us the original Brihat Mridanga, the original printing press that Bhaktisiddhanta established, where he would print the Harmonist and other literature based on Gaudiya Vaishnavism. So it was very historical, very nostalgic to actually be there and see the machine itself that was called the Brihat Mridanga. Prabhupada would say that the mridanga can make some sound and it'll be heard maybe 1 block, 2 blocks away. But the sound of, but the distribution of literature can be gone, all that sound or that vibration will go all over the planet. That's why he was very eager for that. Prabhupada goes on to say, it is so nice and attractive, and all the credit goes to you and your assistants. So Prabhupada is so encouraging. He is acknowledging the efforts that they have made, and he's saying all the credit will go to you and your assistants. Please convey my sincere thanks to your 2 assistants, Jai Govinda and Purushottama, for their sincere service in the cause of Krishna consciousness. So I wasn't too familiar with Jai Govinda Prabhu. I haven't heard his name a lot, but that just could be my ignorance. But I think Purushottam here is the same Purushottam that left because of the moon landing. You remember that time, it was a whole beautiful Leela in the Leela Amrita when NASA had said that they sent a man to the moon. So Prabhupada said, oh, really? They went to the moon? Let's see. So they brought so Purushottam Prabhu was so eager to show Prabhupada this, and he was so absorbed in this, that they brought a TV set into Prabhupada's room while he was having massage. Shruti Kirti Prabhu tells the story. And while he was having massage, they brought this TV set, and they were watching the whole thing. And Prabhupada said, they never went to the moon. And then one of the reasons, he said, why is it? And then he said, because Sunday is before Monday. And they were like, what? Prabhupada's logic. So they said, what do you mean? He says, Sunday is based on the sun. Monday comes from the moon. So how can you get to the moon? You have to pass the sun. So Prabhupada said, this is a heavenly planet. In order to go there, you have to have enough punya. You can't go there you have to go there by merit. You can't go there by Sputnik. Like Prabhupada would call it, Sputnik. So you need merit. So we know the son of the moon god was Abhimanyu in the Mahabharata, the Leela, when Arjuna went back to claim Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu said, no, I don't know who you are. You were probably my father for one lifetime, but he's back with Chandradev. So, yeah, the pastime goes on. So Prabhupada is acknowledging Purushottama and Jai Govinda. So I think it's the same devotee here. Prabhupada goes on to say, please take it for granted that I have sanctioned for all your schemes because you are sincere worker. Krishna is dictating from within yourself as he has promised in the Bhagavad Gita. So where has he promised in the Bhagavad Gita this? He has described Tesham Shatatayuttanam Bhajatam Pritipurvakam Tadadi Buddhi Yogam Tam. I'll dictate from inside. I'll give you the understanding. Yena mamupiyanti te, by which you can come to me. But only if one is doing their bhajan with priti. If they're doing their chanting, their sadhana, bhajate priti purvakam. If they're doing their bhajan with priti, with love, then tadadi buddhi yogam tam. Then I give the understanding. So Prabhupada is saying already Krishna is dictating from the heart. Do like this, do like that, go like this, do like that. So this is what we were talking about in one of the previous messages, where we have to listen to the Lord in the heart, connect to the Lord in the heart and take shelter of the Lord in the heart. But first we got to be aware of the Lord in the heart. We got to be aware that Krishna is right there within our heart and connect to Him very deeply from there. Prabhupada goes on to say, and things are coming so nicely. May Krishna grace you more and more and in your advanced service of Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada is giving his such beautiful blessings from the spiritual master. May Krishna grace you more and more. So he's so appreciative and he's giving such amazing blessings. You know, if you get blessings like this from the spiritual master, what can be an obstacle in life? What can stop the blessings of the spiritual master? What material obstacle? Nothing. So this is why the devotee serves so hard, so sincerely to please the spiritual master, because once he blesses, that's it. Your journey back to Godhead is a given. And even in this lifetime, your life will be so auspicious. Prabhupada goes on to say, and this is a very sweet point. Now they discuss a philosophical point, but a very, very sweet point. So listen to this part of the letter. It goes as follows. You have very nicely stated that I am your life. This means you are my body. Just see Prabhupada, how he's exchanging. Like he said, ISKCON is my body. So Prabhupada is saying, if you are saying I am your life, that means you are also my body. So let's see how he's combining that. And so neither life nor body can be separated, because on the spiritual platform there is no such distinction. So he's saying, yes, materially the body is there, but if the life is not there, the body is dead. But on the spiritual platform, there is no difference between the body and the soul. That's why we say spiritual body, because once we get our spiritual body, then there is no difference between the body and the soul. They both are acting we saying both, but they're actually one, acting in complete yoga service to Krishna. So Prabhupada is so sweetly commenting on this point. He says, on the material platform, sometimes life is separated from the body. But in the absolute platform, there is no such distinction. There is no distinction. Once you have a spiritual body, that's it. You are the body there. You are your body there. Because the spiritual body and the soul, they are one in the spiritual platform. Of course, in the material platform, it's different. So Prabhupada goes on to say, Dr. Radha Krishna foolishly makes such distinction on the body of Krishna. So Prabhupada is commenting now, because at that time, remember, Bhagavad Gita wasn't ready and they're just starting with the books. So there was no Bhagavad Gita from the Gaudiya Vaishnava side that was in English. But Dr. Radha Krishna was preaching there at that time, and he had this yoga studio which he would call students, and he would also speak some philosophy. But he would speak Mayavad philosophy. So Prabhupada was tolerant, but when he had a chance to defeat this philosophy, he would. So now he's saying, just see, Dr. Radha Krishna is saying that Krishna is separate from his body. So if Krishna is separate from his body, and he's such a great person that 5,000 years later we're still following his teachings, why is there no tomb of Krishna? Why is there no burial ground of Krishna if he had a material body? If Ram had a material body, why is there no burial site? Surely he was such a great personality in his time. Surely they would have buried him. So where is it? So this is one of the logical proofs that he doesn't have a material body. Secondly, if he has a material body, that means he's prone to be under the modes of material nature. Then how can he say, Daiviyesha gunamai mama maya duratyaya? That this material energy is working under my control. So he can't have a material body because he's controlling this material energy. So how can he take on a material body? And we see thirdly in Krishna's appearance. This is why we say for birthdays, we say appearance days. Because we're looking on the spiritual platform. And on the spiritual platform, the soul doesn't get born. He's Aja and he's Vibhu. So on the spiritual platform, he doesn't get born. And if he's not born, then what we call it appearance, that the body appears to manifest into the material realm, but the soul is not born. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire, Prabhupada will say, that this soul is not born. Only the body appears. So Prabhupada is justifying that point, that in the Mayavadi understanding, they say that the body, that God is spiritual, is some form, is some energy, is some light. Usually they say is light. I think they mention, Prabhupada mentions that here also. Usually they say is some light, and then he takes this form and comes as avatar. This is total wrong philosophy. It doesn't make sense. That means then that God is under the control of material nature. And if that is so, then how can he be God? But Bhagavad Gita is very clearly saying, Daivi Aisha Gunamai Mama Maya Durakaya. This is my energy, Arjun. This Maya Shakti. So he's controlling it. Mam eva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. That is, it's impossible to overcome this. But for one who surrenders to me, easily he can overcome it. So if you're going to surrender to Krishna and he has a material body, then how can he help you? If you're going to surrender to him, he's also under the Maya's clutch. So how can he help you? So it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So Prabhupada goes on to say here, and therefore, when Krishna says that one should become his devotee, he comments that it is not to the person Krishna, but to the light within Krishna. See, what is the difference between Krishna within and without? It's spiritual body. So therefore Prabhupada is commenting like this. This is Mayavad philosophy. And this is actually covered atheism. Because now you can also develop the tendency and the proclivity to become God. And this is Mayavad. We are never God. We are Das Anudas, the servant of God. Prabhupada goes on to say, he does not know that in the spiritual platform there is no such distinction of the life and the body. So Prabhupada is really clarifying this point. It's a very beautiful letter. It goes on to another theme, some practical theme within Krishna consciousness at that time, which we will continue tomorrow. Thank you very much. May you have a good day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Hare Krishna.